Hey everybody, it's Mike Young, a digitalnomad.net, also the founder of the Tesla High Mileage Club at teslahighmileageclub.com. Join us there. I'm giving you my state of the automotive vehicle industry 2025. It's May of 2025, and let's talk about this. I've done many videos over the years about how I predict the impending destruction of the traditional ICE manufacturers. You've seen over the years how Toyota has been the world leader, I'd say, in ICE manufacturing for vehicles for consumers and even businesses. And they've set the standard for reliability and cost and things. But they really got on they really, they jumped, leapfrogged everybody like the Japanese did in the 1980s, them and Honda. Then Honda didn't catch up because Honda didn't make the leap to hybrid technology like Toyota did. But Toyota forgot about Tesla and BEVs, battery electric vehicles, which is going to be the future. And let me give you my insight and thoughts on what's happened recently and why this is still definitely going to be the case going forward. Now, obviously, there's government incentives that help out, and some are there, some are taken away, depending on who's in office. But that's irrelevant if you ask me. The question is, what's going on? Okay, well, first of all, I do believe that battery electric is the future, and it's simply a matter of lack of complexity and simpleness. It's simply a matter of simpleness because battery electric vehicles can be designed on a much safer platform, much less expensive, much simpler, and much more reliable if done properly. Now, a lot of people haven't done it properly because in order to do it properly here in 2025, you have to have a pure BEV platform, 100%. A lot of the stuff is shared componentry with ICE vehicles and hybrid systems because other manufacturers don't just want to, jettison their entire business. They want to stick with what they have already. So they're not doing that. They're not building the best cars. So that's one of the reasons why Tesla is way ahead actually right now. But what's going to happen? I see it right now with Toyota. Okay, I've made some videos in the past, in case you weren't aware, and this is going to go across a number of different channels that I have because it appeals to a number of different audiences. But I have a nonprofit, a plantbaseddiet.org, and I use Toyota trucks. I have for a while for that type of work and for growing food and things like that. So still use those. I don't think the Tesla Cybertruck is going to be taking over that category right now, but it's happening faster. I've made some videos showing, telling people that, hey, guess what? The mid-size Toyota Tacoma, you can't even get a V6 in it anymore. Only a 4-cylinder. And guess what? The Toyota Tundra, the large one, you can only get a V6 in. You can't get a V8. You can't even get one. Their optional engines now are not just pure ICE, but they add a hybrid system, okay, for their top end engines. They don't add cylinders, which tends to be a smoother engine and a better experience. But anyway, let me tell you why I'm saying this, why I'm even bringing this up right now, is because these systems are incredibly complex. They're not just 4 cylinders and 6 cylinders in their pickup trucks. They are turbocharged 4 cylinders and 6 cylinders, and then you add a hybrid system on top of that. So what this tells you is extreme complexity. And of course, they've had some problems here in the first and second model years of these new generation trucks Toyota has, and they've been replacing engines, and they just announced a massive recall, but they're going to replace like 100,000 engines. They say it's metal shavings and something else, but they're having all kinds of issues. And they haven't made the leap fast enough. Of course, there was no big announcement from Toyota that they can't get a V6 in the Tacoma anymore. There was no big announcement that you cannot get a V8 in the Tundra anymore. They just stopped making them. Now, why? You might say, hey, Mike, well, why are they even doing this? What's the point? Well, it's because they have to, because there's these CAFE, corporate average fuel economy standards that they have to meet. And of course, gasoline and diesel keeps getting more and more expensive. Nobody wants to pay for that stuff anymore. And so in addition to that, there's emission standards, which keep getting tougher and tougher. So that means your engine has to be more complex, more computerized, and you limit your options because you can say, hey, just a great old standard V8 did great. The problem is it had a ton of emissions, and yeah, it was reliable because I had one in my 2000 Tundra, but it a ton of emissions and tons of fuel costs. That's the thing. Fuel is very expensive, and it's only going to probably get more expensive over time, is my guess, until the whole thing implodes, I guess. But we're in an era now where an area where I work with my landscape business. As of July this year, 2025, you can no longer operate gas-powered leaf blowers. It has to be fully electric. You can use a backpack leaf blower if you want, but it has to be fully electric, battery powered. No more internal combustion. No more. No, they're concerned about the noise. That's what that is about. In case you're wondering, I mean, yeah, it's pollutants and stuff, and I don't want to have to breathe that stuff in. And nobody wants to be exposed to pollutants if they can avoid it. But the noise is the big one on that. And you've seen people still are here with their cars. I'm guessing it's young guys, not young women, who have these super loud mufflers on. It's like they won't go away. But anyway, this is what's happening. You see the transition. It's gone from pure ICE, internal combustion engine, to hybrid, and Toyota made the leap for that. And now this is like the end stage of hybrid and the end stage of ICE, where they become so complicated. So many things can break, so many problems. I mean, so many of the manufacturers, Toyota at least has a handle and they're recalling, but a lot of these engines from different manufacturers like Hyundai, I think, and Kia, they're terrible engines. They don't even last that long, even when you change the oil. And of course, all that's messy and sloppy too. So this is what I believe is going to happen. I look forward to reading your comments. I encourage you to comment down below. But I think that the industry is imploding on itself. It doesn't matter if the government regulations rebate you for buying an electric car or not. If you ask me, think of the noise, think of the emissions, think of the cost of the fuel, think of the complexity, the repairs. And guess what? These technicians are making outrageous amounts of money. I know at Tesla, it's like $200 to $250 an hour. And if you got major problems, I mean, I've heard of some technicians say that, like, oh, I got to replace a clip in a Ford sunroof. And guess what? The clip is like $3, but it takes me 7 hours of labor to replace that thing. Now, so you don't want to have complexity in your engines and motors and things like that, because that's just the labor alone. Forget what the parts might cost. And you know they're going to charge more than they should for the parts. Any kind of work, and there's so many parts. So electric is the future. Electric is definitely the future until they come up with something better. I'd like to hear your thoughts on what might replace electric as being even better than something else. But this is my state of the union, state of the industry, state of the vehicle transportation industry. And yeah, we are definitely, I don't care what the naysayers say. I don't care about that FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I don't care what somebody's political agenda is. Oh, let me touch on one other thing. Even though I don't get into politics, people are saying, oh, China's the leader. China's this, China's that. First of all, it's mainly on battery technology because they got the manufacturing down. It's cheap labor, cheap goods. That's the whole thing about China, right? Cheap, cheap, cheap. Now, why is it cheap? It's one thing, it's just cheap to be cheap. But of course, you know that causes problems for China internally with families and the country residents that live over there, the citizens. That needs to be talked about. The other thing is the cobalt. I did a video on cobalt in Tesla batteries and cobalt and EV. People are saying, hey, you're buying your vehicle made for you thanks to slave labor, child labor in Africa, mining cobalt. And cobalt is a problem. In fact, it's not even necessary. And if you go with the Chinese, I don't think they have any stance on cobalt. I did the video a couple of years, like 1 or 2 years ago, I think it was 2023. That's when I did it. And the only people that have a solution for that is Tesla, okay? If you're concerned about human rights and not abusing people and not taking advantage of them and not forcing children into labor for no money, you want to go with Tesla. You don't want to go with a Chinese company because they have no stance. Neither any of the other nameplates have any stance. Tesla, though, I think last time I checked, at least 75-80% of their cars, if not more, were totally cobalt free. And the plan is to get rid of cobalt altogether. And of course, Tesla always recycles everything. If you didn't know that, 100% of all their battery packs, 100% of everything in their cars is recycled. So once you get enough of these and there's enough on the road, it'll be, just kind of keep melting it down, I guess, and putting it into the next vehicle. So China is not the answer to EVs. That's a political answer, if you ask me. And anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts on all this. I appreciate the comments. Put them down below, and I will see you in the next video. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channels. You can this is going to be on 3 channels, so let's name them all. adigitalnomad.net, Tesla High Mileage Club, and you can find the group at teslahighmileageclub.com, at Tesla High Mileage Club on YouTube, and then a plantbaseddiet.org on YouTube, and you can get to that by going to plantbasedvideos.info, plantbasedvideos.info. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.